All right. Today, what you are doing is you are continuing to work on the Gizmo. So, this is day 2 of Gizmo work. You got the notes on density. You're going to go to, remember, just a reminder, Unit 1 study guide up right here, which means that test is coming up probably next Monday, maybe next Monday. And that means anything that we've gone over or any activity we have been doing or have done, you need to have it handed in or corrected by Monday. So you have this week. Make sure you're all straight with your grades. Okay. Let's go ahead and click on this Earth System Science. Here's the Density Lab Gizmo. You pop it out or you open it up. It's different on mine. I've already made a video going over how to do this top part, the tinker time and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the next part after that, which is you actually going through and looking at the density of different objects. Okay, so it says directions, follow the instructions to go through the simulation, respond to the questions and prompts in the orange boxes. So vocab, you have density, mass, matter, volume. Setup. Click on the blue title above to open the Gizmo website. So you'll open this bit. There she goes. Remember, you have to log in, or you're only going to have this 5-minute preview where you can click around and then you have to refresh your screen and go for another 5 minutes, and it's really, really annoying. So you might as well launch the Gizmo and log in. Because otherwise, once you log in, that timer will go away. Remember, you can email your teachers for if you forget your username and password. Okay, so here we go. In the Gizmo, drag the apple onto the scale. The scale measures the mass. So there's an image of it. All right. Mass is the amount of matter or stuff in an object. Okay. I'm actually going to highlight that in orange because that's pretty much a definition. Kind of a big deal. All right. What is the apple's mass? So when you look here, okay, here's the apple. You pop her in there. Oh, that noise is annoying. And I'm sorry. I guess I can turn my noise down. Hopefully it doesn't. I don't know why. I don't think it would affect the me talking sound. So hopefully not. Anyway, you write down how many grams that was. And then an object's volume is the amount of space it takes up. That's another definition that I did not highlight that I should have. The volume of an object can be measured by using a graduated cylinder. Observe the graduated cylinder and the blue text showing the volume of the water inside. Okay, so right here's the blue text saying how much there was. I think, can I grab this? What is this thing right here? Why is that so angry? I don't know what that's for. Anyway, what is the starting volume of the water in the graduated cylinder? So you look, bam, there she is. Place the apple in the cylinder. What is the volume in the cylinder now? Boom. So, what is it now? The water rises in the cylinder because it is displaced or pushed upward by the apple. The amount of displaced water is equal to the volume of the apple. So, what is the volume of the apple? So you take 444 minus 400 and you get 44. Bam. Just gave you that answer. You're welcome. Note, milliliters are used for liquid volume while cubic meters are used for solids. 1 milliliter is the same volume as 1 centimeter cubed. So they are equal. The apple's volume is measured in centimeters cubed. Okay, so even though we're talking milliliters here, they write centimeters cubed because it's a solid. Okay. Just something to note. All right, here we go. Activity 8. A, get the gizmo ready. Replace all the objects on the shelf. So, apple, come here. Boop. And then replace all the, be sure the liquid in the beaker is water. So right here is water. That's what we want it to be. How do mass and volume affect sinking and floating? Predict which objects do you think will float in water? Which do you think will sink? Record your predictions below in the first column. So, ping pong, sink or float. Golf ball, sink or float. Apple, sink or float. Chess piece, sink or float. Penny, sink or float. Rock, sink or float. And you literally write it in there. Okay? And then use the gizmo to find the mass and volume of each object and whether it floats or sinks. Record your results in the table. So, first thing first, ping pong ball. That's a golf ball. Ping pong. All right. Mass. You write that down right there. Volume. You write that down right there. And then to see if it sinks or floats, boop, in water, it floats. So you'd write float, and then you're going to do the math. Take your mass divided by volume and fill in your density. All right, so right here it tells you how to do that. Density is the amount of mass contained in a given volume. To find the density of an object, divide its mass by its volume. Density is recorded in units of grams per centimeters cubed. Right there. So you're going to do that with each one of these. Okay, so you'll put this back and you'll say, okay, golf ball, you're up next. Boop, boop, boop. Ooh, that I was not expecting. Not gonna lie. I thought a golf ball would float. Whoops. Apparently I've never played golf. Or I don't play it often enough. Or maybe I play it and I never hit it in the water. That's what it is. Okay. Analyze results. Look at the data in your table. Can you use mass alone to predict whether an object will sink or float? So when you look at the mass of something, could you say, oh yeah, that is 50 grams. It will sink. Can you do that? Yes or no? And then can you use volume alone to predict whether object will sink or float? So these are all small objects. These will sink, and these are all big objects, so they'll float. Like, can you say that? All right. Draw conclusions. Can you use mass and volume to predict whether an object will sink or float in water? So maybe you should think about, all right, if mass is bigger than volume, will it sink or float? Or if volume is bigger than mass, will it sink or float? Is there any relationship there? That's what you're writing in here. Okay, number 14. In the gizmo, either crown 1 or crown 2 is solid gold, but not both. Find the density of the gold nugget and of each crown. Hint, you will need a calculator to do this. Okay, so first you'll take the gold nugget. You'll find the density of the gold nugget. Boom. Mass. Ooh. Mass, whatever that was, divided by the volume. Bam. There she be. Or bam, there she be. And you're going to divide those. You write those in there, mass divided by volume, whatever those two things were, you divide them, and then you do the same thing for crown 1 and crown 2. And hint, hint, whichever one is equal to the density of the gold nugget is the one made of gold. That's how density works for materials made of a solid substance. Okay? All right, then you're going to replace all the objects on the shelf. How does an object behave in different liquids? So use the gizmo to explore whether the egg sinks or floats in different liquids. Record what you find in the table below. So I'm going to do this because I'm actually kind of interested. You guys got to write this stuff down. Excuse me. First one is water. Egg. Sink or float? I would say suspended. That's not an option, but that's what I'd say. It's just kind of hanging out there. What's next? Oil. Does it just go down the line? Yes. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, it sinks pretty quick. Oh, snap. She floating. Corn syrup. That's thick. Makes sense. Anyway, do yourself, write it down. Which liquids are more dense than the egg and which are less dense, and explain your reasoning. So, yeah, you need to figure out which liquid is more dense than the egg, and you write those down. And then which ones are less dense than the egg, you write those down. Observe the egg in each liquid again. In which liquid does the egg float the highest? And then in which liquid does the egg sink the fastest? Which liquid do you think is the densest? List it down and explain. Last question. Challenge yourself using the objects in the gizmo to help you list the liquids from densest to least dense. Okay. So these right here, you need to put them in order from most dense to least dense. Figure it out. I like it. Okay, and then once you're done with that, you hit submit. Okay, that's what you're doing today. Figure it out. Figure it out. Boom. Have a great